another Aeson video. Today we're going to actually just showcase, I've managed to tune the Autotrim to an acceptable degree. So for anyone that is not familiar with aircraft or the Airbus plane, for example, as you can see I still need to get to the engine tuning and just retune down the power. As you can see, at idle it's a bit too fast, but for anyone that's not too familiar with Airbus or fly-by-wire, for example, what fly-by-wire in the Airbus planes do is when you release the joystick, it will maintain the same pitch you left the plane at to a rough degree, including when banking, and it will continue to do that until you turn off auto trim or the automatic auto trim turn off altitude is condition is met, so usually it's below 200 feet. At the moment, of course, we have the auto trim running regardless, because we haven't added on the lock-offs. The same went for the yaw damper because we haven't got to that stage yet. It's very easy, it's just a simple condition. We just haven't got there because we've been putting the system on. And what this should do is, if you've noticed, for example, in keyboard mode, that you would pitch the plane up and the plane would eventually pitch back down, or if you pitch down the plane would pitch up. That just simply tells you that your plane's center of gravity, which does also with speed, changes a lot, and especially with putting the gear down, you may see your plane without auto trim down. If your plane starts, when there's fuel, it starts losing fuel, the weight changes and the CG changes as a result. You'll notice again there, shifts. There's pretty much normal. You get all of those type of things in the real aircraft. So that's why we have auto trim. The takeoff trim, I've already explained, only affects the plane on takeoff. So the only time you manually set and calculate CG is when you're on takeoff, because the auto trim will not do that. You don't want the auto trim on the ground, because say you're at 0 pitch, you want to take off, you don't want it trimming for 0 pitch. So we're going to line up here, make sure everything is okay. I'm aware. I'm going to put the B for the brakes on, just quickly have a survey of the plane. As you can see, it's trimmed setting down at the moment. As you can see, this is just a tad too far from where it would be roll out. I'm just going to reduce the trim there. As you can see, the yaw damper is still on. It would never be on below this altitude, so that's another thing. Of course, as I told you, the conditions I will turn off, and you'll see how that affects takeoff, and as an example of why Airbus and Boeing don't have it. But as you can see, the trim horizontal is pitched up, waiting for me to reach free pitch, because that's their default setting, until I start putting some input. Okay, I'm happy with that, so I'm going to get moving. I'm going to be using keyboard mode today. Off itself, and it's now maintaining 8 pitch. That was the last pitch I left it on. Gears up. As you can see, when the gears shift, they change the CG. It's still maintaining 8 pitch. That was the last pitch it was left on, and it'll continue to maintain that pitch all the way up, even when I put the speed down. It would aim to maintain that pitch. Of course, if you don't have enough power for the plane and the plane's going to stall, it will carry on trying to maintain that pitch, but it will, of course, if there's not enough power, that will not maintain. I've pitched down. I left it at -1. You can see now it's maintaining the -1 pitch. If I make my turn now, it should try and maintain -1 even though I am turning. And the Airbus protection will protect you for up to -30. So as you can see, it's still maintaining the pitch. It's doing an amazing job. There will be oscillations at times. Of course, this is because there's momentum of the plane. If I want to pitch sharp now, I will expect it to maintain the 6 pitch or 7 pitch. I can't remember exactly where I left it, but you see, it will maintain that. I don't know where it fail-safes. Usually on Airbus planes, there's a fail-safe that when you get to -45, it will stop doing that. I haven't put that on. However, I will. Again, as a condition, we'll put it that it will Autotrim will turn off here. You'll get the display. Autotrim will also turn off when you're in mouse mode and when you're in autopilot mode, so it doesn't mess up your mouse movements and your autopilot. At the moment, I haven't done that, but you can see Autotrim is maintaining a 7 pitch altitude. We're continuing pretty much at a great rate. And to show you how the gears affect CG, if you press G now, you just see that the plane is pitched down as a result of that. Things that affect CG on the plane is the gears, and will also be flaps. So if you wonder why your plane pitches down, that's what happens in real life. The CG shifts on the plane. Same with the flaps, the CG will shift with the plane. And as you can see, we're just maintaining this isn't a really great thing in terms of, I don't think you guys understand. It makes like keyboard mode really fun to use. And for some reason, I have no control. Hold on. What have I done there now? Did I done it or was it? Oh, I restored it. For some reason, I have no control over Roblox anymore. And this isn't good. Is it me I have no control over Roblox, or is it the plane? It looks like something has happened. Okay, so it turns out something's happened to Roblox. Like, pretty much don't have any control of the plane anymore. I must have faulted the controls. Recap mode. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Whoa. Okay, Roblox has just kicked in right now. I do not know what is going on. I think Roblox is bugging out. They've just got the controls back abruptly. I'm gonna push this out. Yeah, because Roblox is bugging out now. We with this flight signal. I think Roblox are they doing maintenance now? I don't know what they're doing. But I'm barely getting any control of the plane until, they just randomly come in. At least the auto trim will keep me at least at an acceptable level. I'm gonna put it down to around, I'll try and pitch around. Yeah, I don't know, Roblox just bugged out for some reason. It just came back alive. The gears back down. But you can see, it's really fun. Keyboard mode is just amazing to use now. I really love flying keyboard mode now. Of course, there is minor changes that are still required. So the bank might be. Oh, actually, never mind. The bank feels a lot better now. Keyboard mode might need to make it just a tiny bit more responsive. It feels a lot better actually. Oh, we're going at 45 degrees back now. Yeah, I'm gonna need to make the bank a bit more responsive. difference with systems might come with the 777. Boeing has a different way of how they understand flight, like wire to Airbus. So it'd be something I'd have to check, to be honest. Yes, I really enjoyed using keyboard at the moment. I will tell you that. It was so fun to fly. It's gonna put more juice in the tank. I mean, sorry, the aileron and elevator. I don't think I'll be able to add this because, first of all, I'm not going to keyboard mode. Second of all, I don't want the auto because of course you would turn auto trim when you turn off, so that would just that is not going to happen because I don't have that condition on, so I don't think I can learn that. And in mouse mode, well, you know, I always say I don't think I can learn, and I end up going to try that, so might as well. As well as the other thing is mouse mode will not work properly when auto trim is on. There's no condition yet to tell it that auto trim should be turned off yet, so I'm going to have to add that before I think about using mouse mode again. I'll do that after the video. This is a really long term. Yeah, I'm pretty off the runway. Hold on. There we go. I don't like this. This is my favorite keyboard. There we go. Well, we're high. I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make this landing really high up there. I'm gonna pick up speed. Okay. This is gonna be the most painful landing. And auto trim just keeps trimming out my flare. Like, who do you think you are? So hard to keep it up because auto trim is like
Minimum 100 above,
okay.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20.
Auto trim. There we go. At least we somewhat landed. I wouldn't call that butter on my days. We're drifting now. The rudder is drifting us. Great. I'm going to put some brake on because so that the rudder loses its effectiveness. 75 knots, so should be able. There we go. It's lost its effectiveness now, which is great because now it's all pure wheeled Tyler. And there we go. So that's auto trimming display. No thanks to Roblox, the random Roblox bug there, but you've seen when it was working how efficient it is and how fun it is to use the auto trim. And keyboard mode is, as you see, a lot better. I found it a lot more easier actually than mouse mode for now to maintain the center line. But for a few versions ago, I used to use keyboard mode as my main way of landing. It was a lot more easier. And so it's great to have it back. And you know, when you look at a few of the old stuff we had in the Aeson, there are certain things that of course we brought in back. So there's some sounds from the V1 kit, that sound that was from the V1 kit, and if you are an OG of Aeson, you would remember that came from the co-pilot system, so where we were opening doors and stuff. So I brought that back because I thought it'd be nice to have it back. And so keyboard mode, of course, was nice to have it back, but the keyboard mode was really just a byproduct of optimization and proper systems being installed on the plane. So this system probably makes, at the moment, this A350 one of the most advanced, I guess, in road aviation. There are also some other good planes as well in road aviation too, so I'd say it's one of the most advanced too. I don't know if it's the most advanced at the moment, because there are some projects maybe I don't see in the public eye, but yeah, it should be a very fun place. Oh dear, where am I going? That's not the taxiway. So yeah, it should be one of the most advanced planes, but not so advanced that you won't be able to fly it. These systems being added on make it easier. So all the Aeson plane tests, basically our clients, a big shout out to you guys for being pretty much, without them you wouldn't really be seeing any of these optimizations. Um, they have been used pretty much as hamsters, test hamsters, see how they fly with planes without these automations. Um, and yes, these automations are essential, so they will not be add-ons. So the yaw damper, the Autotrim is an essential system that should be on the plane. So they do not worry; those won't be at all add-ons. And so they've been hamsters, and they've been testing our planes and seeing and getting. Even though it's been frustrating, of course, for them because this is some a really hard and realistic kit without the automation, they've been testing and I've been able to do stats and checks and planning, the next phase of the Aeson based on actually how the pilots or those that fly the plane react to it. And it's been very, very good because it's helped me in terms of making tweaks. If you look up where our version, the first version of the V2 kit was, to the second version now, to the latest version now, which is going to be this soon, massive changes will come, will have been seen. So, with everything, as we say, our motto is innovate and innovation. So, we always looking for innovation now. So I'm going to taxi this plane to the gate again, just really going to display how easy it is to taxi the plane now compared to previous versions. And then I'm going to end the video, going to go back into studio now that this one of the hardest parts. I still got to retune the autopilot, which is that should be a lot more easier than the yaw damper and auto trim tuning. So that will be done. Retune those, retweak that, and then once that system is done, optimize, check again, see if I can optimize performance even more with the scripts. Once that is done, one or two little tweaks on the actual A350 plane itself. So I'm going to try and get the missing livery pack parts that Roblox keep trying to kill. So for some people, that's the wing box and the gear doors. I'm going to try and redo that again, see if Roblox won't destroy that mesh again. And then Aeria will retest the plane again, make sure everything that they tested before is fine. Then we're going to call the clients, the OG clients, the clients that have shown skills in landing the plane consistently already. We're going to get them to test, and then that should be it. And landing mode, our flight mode controllers will of course be back on with the landing rating as well. I think this is the taxi exit. Those will be back on, of course. The moment is of course disabled because we do not have the flaps done in terms of the physics, and we do not have the we don't have the I keep missing my words now. We don't have the tune redone because I still need to actually redo the flight mode since it's changed where we're not actually affecting the wing realistically as we did before because we have flaps. I got to redo that little small bit, which shouldn't take a lot of time. Once this is done, I really hope that should be the end really of unessential A350 updates. The only other updates we really want to do is like bug fixing if Roblox sends something there. But this has been a joy to fly now. That doesn't mean it wasn't a joy to fly before the automation, but it's just a lot more fun to fly. The reduction of Dutch yaw dodge roll has made the plane, for me, miles better to fly. The addition now of pitch trim that makes keyboard mode a lot more worthwhile flying with, even better as well. And autopilot retune. I mean, we've already experienced autopilot, so there's not a lot to say on that. The physics redo, so with the engines, feels a lot better, but I still need to retune the engine, of course. Like right now with the idle, it's very quick to reach 10 knots. And also, as well as I think takeoff, it might just be a tad too fast. But I might be wrong there. Takeoff actually looks pretty well and pretty good in terms of the speed build up. What didn't look good, which you've not seen in the video, is climbing up to 43,000 feet. Instead of gaining speed as you somewhat climb, because air density becomes less, you lose speed. The reason you're losing speed up there is more so to do with air density, in as much as you lose drag in terms of air density, because drag is also got a constant of air density there. There's another problem for thrust, because thrust requires a good density of air to push the plane. So with less thrust, less air density, there's also less thrust, in as much as also you're getting less drag. So it's a bit of a paradox type thing. But what's happening with the plane is when it gets around 23,000, so on around 2,000 to under 2,000 to 10,000, you can fly the plane up to like 400 or something knots, which shouldn't be possible. But you can fly it up to that speed. When you climb and you maintain altitude at 23,000, for example, you'll notice that the speed doesn't even go above 300. And then when you get to 36,000, you struggle to cap at 250 knots. So, of course, that's wrong, because the plane should be flying a lot faster in the higher altitudes than it will in the lower altitudes. So that's just down to actually my tune, the way I tuned the setting. So I'll redo that, of course, later on. I think this is a turn. Okay, I'm turning too early. I think this is a turn here. Yep, that's a turn. I think we took it wide just now. There we go. Took it too wide, as you can see. See? So the taxiing is really easy. We don't lose speed like instantly as we did before. I don't know where I'm gonna park this. I don't want to park it at the terminal, because we don't have any gates at the moment, because I'm renovating that area specifically. I got to redo the taxiway at this airport, because when the airport was built, it was built for small jets, and this being private jets, we never. The guy that created this, and my friend, Aquafenia, when he made this airport for his airline, they were supposed to be a private jet airport, so or an executive airport. There we go. And it was not actually envisioned that it would be for big planes as you're seeing, like the A350. He was going to do an international airport after that, but he left to do some exams, so we haven't seen him since. But he's probably going to eventually come back, you know. Is this the place? If I turn here, okay, yeah, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this taxiway. So as you can see, here's going to be a quick display of how short the taxiways are. Because the moment I make my turn, now I'm going to need to be on the brakes. The moment I make my turn, I won't be able to straighten up before I'm at the end. And I don't have reversers, so... Okay, well, we're there. Wasn't the perfect. It's perfect. Yeah, so all of this is going to be interactable when it's actually worked on. For now, it's not important. I'm probably going to need to open the door for myself. Boom. Give me 1 second. What's this? Ooh, we're going to need a bit more gas in that. That's pretty. I mean, I know the plane is heavy on the back, but whoa, we're going to need a bit more gas on that area. So, as you guys know, we use realistic suspension here. And because the plane is MTOW weight, it's very, very low. Even though it should be around here. So I need to put some more nitrogen in there. But as you can see, the front gear is very, very high. So that's gonna need to be reduced a bit. So either I'm gonna need to reduce this a bit, or I'm gonna, of course, need to pump the nitrogen a bit more up here. Because as you can see, it leaves our plane slanted, which shows the CG is around here, the center of gravity is around here. In real world, this would have a bit more nitrogen. It would still, usually it would sit lower than the front, because the front is very, very light. Because of course you don't want all the force of the plane going on the nose gear or snap. It's only a singular set of pair of wheels compared to here. So I'm going to need to just put a bit more nitrogen, I assume, in here, and then reduce the nitrogen in here, so that it's like this, as you can see. So it's straight like that. And what that will do on takeoff is, of course, it will give you already a pitch up attitude, which is not bad on takeoff, of course. Too bad on takeoff. It's just, of course, it doesn't look very nice to have that type of imbalance. It should be somewhat balanced. But anyway, that's the video over, and the realism display over. Can't wait to put this on the A380, because the A380 is such a fat bird, so it's really fun to fly fat birds as well. Well, I really can't wait to see the A350 landing competition, because that's going to be the funniest competition to see. People crashing. I mean, I hope they don't crash, but I'm pretty sure someone's going to crash. As well as to see some good landing. The landing competition I'm more and more interested in and excited for is the crosswind landing, because we have not done crosswind landing since the very start of the V2 kit with the arrows. So to have an actual public crosswind landing test would be so amazing. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Thanks for watching the video, and goodbye.